Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, with this pranam mantra. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurirajanaha. The complete satisfying to the hearers. The last, they say, is a complete satisfying to the hearers. So this is what is called kathamrita. Katha, the words, amrit, the nectar. Again and again, we remember, we say that only these words, that is giving us the nectar. What is this nectar? When we drink this, there is a conception that nectar is liquid. When one drinks it, it becomes immortal. How these words can help us to become immortal? Because the moment we understand this world that is transitory and truly we seek for which is permanent, and then we merges with that permanent, we become permanent, we become eternal. And what happens when we become eternal? They say is the abode of peace. We become completely peaceful. That is the goal. Today a group of people came to meet me. They were asking about the religion. I told, please tell me, what is the goal of religion? Why you are talking about religion? Why you are practicing religion? There are some small goals that I should be very happy, I should be protected, no harm will come on me, like this. But the ultimate goal of religion is peace. Ma Sharadamani Devi, the holy consort of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, she is telling in this way, very simple, if you want peace, then these are the things you should not do. So peace is the goal. And again, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself said, the goal of every human life is God realization. That means realization of God equal to eternal peace. And peace is the happiness. Whatever we do in our life, only for the joy, only for the peace. Now, when we are here in this world, all this trouble, then naturally the question comes, why we are here? Who has brought us over here? One gentleman, a devotee, is asking this question to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, why has God put us in the world? He is telling, why has God put us in this world? God has created this world. So that was the discussion. If God has created this world, that means He has created us. And He has created this Jagat, this universe. And then He has put us over here and we are suffering. Why in the first place? He has put us over there. You know, the very interesting question. So obviously, we know about the two existences. One is this world, another is God. Second, we can, same thing we say, the flesh and the spirit. That means one is inert, another is non-inert, that is living. Bhagavad Gita is terming it as a Kshetra and Kshetragya. Kshetra, the field, Kshetragya, the one who can understand this field. This body and the soul we understand very clearly. And also we say Atman and Brahman. The Brahman is the creator and he has created this individual being, living being, and that is called Atman. Brahman is also sometimes, it says Atman, Jivatma, Paramatma. Sometimes this type of terminologies, words are also used. But so many different words have been used to only to express this thing, that one which is inert, one which is temporary, another is permanent. Who has created? The permanent one, the Brahman, the God, the Kshetrajna, he has created this. So this way, not from the viewpoint of the physics, of course, the creation when you are discussing is not from the viewpoint of the physics or the science, but from the metaphysics, from the viewpoint of the spirituality. So this is what we say, in the metaphysically we explain God has created this universe. And Semitic religion, they say God has created this universe. How? In a very beautiful way it has been expressed in the Bible, let there be light. And there was light. The God just wished, let there be light, and there was light. In our Sanatana Dharma, Vaidika Dharma, now known as Hindu Dharma, they also say in the same way, the Brahman one day, as if tired of being one without second, he thought, Eka aham bahushyama vihi. I am one, I want to be many. Just wished. The moment he wished, everything started happening. So how the creation science is giving different way, they are also still not perfect in their answer, it's going on. But the religion say that God has created. And what is that God? All-pervading consciousness, all-powerful. And if it is so, then how it is possible? Just by will, just by wish. Ekaham bahushyamavihi. Now a very important question comes. God created out of what? Out of himself. As because there was no anything else except him. So he created it. Now those who are attending the saga of the soul, in that lecture series we are now discussing about the philosophies. Every philosophy is trying to give the answer to this question, how God has created it. Who has created? How he has created. Why? Because for the creation, two things are necessary. One is the intellectual cause, another is the material cause. We can understand God is the intellectual cause. Then what is the material cause? This is a very tricky question. How the God himself out of himself created, but that is the answer, God has created. And for that the philosophers differ. So they say God has created in this way, they say God has created in that way. Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya and his teachers, they say the creation is not there at all. We will be discussing it in the coming Sunday, and the pure Advaita, Ekameva Advaitam. So that is, there we will be discussing Shankara's view. The creation is actually superimposition of our ignorance, etc., etc. So these are all the explanations the philosophers have given. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is going in a simple way, and he is telling God has created. Why? And his answer is very simple, to perpetuate his creation. It is his will, his maya. He has deluded man with lust and gold. This is his answer. He is giving the answer from the point of view of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. In the Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya has taken the help of the word Maya to explain this creation. Unexplicable, but we can feel that power, the power of God, which one cannot explain, but can understand, but can feel. That is called Maya. And that is the superimposition. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, is his Maya. And then he has deluded the human being with his desire. and enjoyment. So lust and gold, the again and again in the whole complete work, so many times he has said like that. We know in the Bhagavad Gita that famous words of Arjuna. He was deluded. Man like Arjuna, he was also deluded. What is this delusion? Moha in Sanskrit say. Moha jahi hi dhanagana trishnam. The dhana means the wealth. Trishna, the desire. All are trying to think that if we get the wealth, we'll enjoy. Go to the wealthy people and ask, sir, you have so much of wealth. Are you happy? No. Why? I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. So many stories are also there to teach the human being to say, it cannot give you happiness. There's a famous story that one person was praying to God, please bless me so that whatever I touch become gold. The moment it becomes gold, naturally it will be costly, I can sell it, I can become very rich. God said, okay. He touched his food, it became gold. And it was so difficult for him to even to eat. But the pathetic thing happened in the story. When his little daughter came, the man forgot that the God has given that boon, whatever he will touch will become gold. He touched the daughter. She turned into gold. So this is in the story they say, the lust, the desire, that gives us always this problem. Whatever we want, we get, be satisfied with that. That is the teaching of the religion. Arjuna is telling, when he saw that the God, the Krishna is nothing but the God, and Krishna is with him, and Krishna is living just a life as Arjuna is living. So simple. Even people are criticizing Krishna, insulting Krishna, trying to kill him too. Just normal, but the same Krishna. He is holding everything. Then Arjuna said, after realization of that, the quotation of Arjuna, the words of Arjuna, Nashta moha smriti labdha tat prasadat maya achyuta. Oh achyuta. Achyuta means the something which never changes. Except that God, everything is changing. So achyuta is that never achyuta, never changes. So you are that God, you are the achyuta. Because of your blessings, grace, nashta moha, all the delusive power, so your grace, it has taken away all that I have understood now. Nashta moha smriti labdha. What is the smriti? Real knowledge. Smriti means the real knowledge. Smriti labdha tat prasadat. Because of your grace. Sometimes we read in the newspaper, very pathetic thing, now the people have become, in different parts of the world, people are really becoming just terrible. No patience. They're losing the patience. Anger is so much. They're killing people. Even the wife, when the husband is sleeping, killing them. One or two incidents maybe, very rare incidents, not that all are happening, but it's happening. Why? Desire. If I can kill him, maybe I will be happy. If I can kill her, maybe I will be happy. What type of happiness? So that's why I was asking those devotees, they are greatly devoted. What is the purpose of God realization? That is exactly what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Nashta moha. You know, a great person, but he was also deluded. He loved his wife so much, that the wife went to her parental home only for a few days on the other side of the river. And suddenly he felt, I must go to my wife, I cannot leave. Even a just a day without her. It was night. He came to cross the river. There was no boat. He plunged into that river and he was trying to cross. He became tired. Suddenly something was floating before him. He held it. You know, in our country, in the previously and nowadays I do not know, if a man is dead by snake bite, they do not burn or bury. They leave that body on a float. So that type of float was there. He took the help of that float. It was terrible smell. And even he couldn't feel that smell, bad smell. He was so happy, God is helping me to cross the river. He took that and then crossed the river. He himself started smelling in that bad way. Then he reached to the house of the in-laws. All the doors and windows were closed because it was night, everybody was sleeping. Only he could gaze that this must be the room where my wife is. And he found that a rope is hanging, thinking, imagining, my wife waited for me, she is waiting for me, and she has kept the rope hanging like this so that I can climb through the, okay. And he climbed. Then afterwards, when he climbed over there, he found it is not a rope, it is a big snake that was hanging. In that way, somehow he reached into the room of the wife, and then wife told, I fie on you. Only for this body, you are so much attached. You never cared to cross this river in this way, and secretly you have come only for this body. I wish you had this type of desire to realize God, to get the great blessings of Sri Ramachandra. I am really ashamed to have you as my husband. Nashta moha smriti labdha. That rebuke of the wife, the beloved wife, for whom this man took so much of risk, immediately his moha, the delusion broke. Yes, from now onwards, every moment I should devote for the realization of Sri Ramachandra, my God. You know who is that man? Goswami Tulsidas is the Goswami, and this is the Tulsidas, the famous person. He became completely changed because of that. Otherwise, what happens? The people are going on marrying, thinking, if I marry that lady, I'll be happy again and again. Moha, moha, moha. When you are going to break that moha, that is the teaching of the gospel. And because of that, people say, this is Amrit, this is the nectar, this is the eternal teaching. So Sri Ramakrishna, he is making this and he is telling to Sri Ramakrishna, one gentleman is asking, why do we not feel intense restlessness to realize him? He is talking about the restlessness to realize God. Why do we not? Then the gentleman is asking. Sri Ramakrishna's answer is very to the point. He said, a man does not feel restless for God until all his worldly desires are satisfied. So that is the reason. Until all the desires are satisfied, one cannot. Restless for God. There are grades. We love God, we come to become a devotee, we like to realize God, we pray to God, but intense restlessness. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu depicted a character, that is Radha, intense longing for God, and never cared for anything else but God. That is called Radha. And her mind was always, every moment, full with God. That intense restlessness, because there was no any other desire. So that is the reason he said, he does not remember the mother of the universe until his share of the enjoyment of the world is completed. A child absorbed in play does not seek his mother, but after his play is over, he says, I must go to my mother. Then Sri Ramakrishna was a very, very keen observer. He used to observe everything around him, and from there he used to take the examples. And he observed a young boy of Hridayaram, his nephew, his son. He came to Dakshineshwar perhaps, and he was playing. Sri Ramakrishna observed him. He was playing with the pigeons. And he's calling them, come, come. He was trying to feed them, to catch them, as the children they always do. And when that was over, he was satisfied after playing, started crying, I like to go to my mother. No one could console him, giving the other things. Then a stranger came and said, come with me. I will take you to your mother. Usually the children, they never go to the strangers. But this case, the child was so eager to go to his mother, he never hesitated. Unhesitatingly, he climbed on the man's shoulders and was off. So, observing these, the Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling, you should be like that. When you are calling for God, whoever comes and say, I will take you to God, people like to go like that. So this way only, those who are eternally free do not have to enter worldly life. Their desire for enjoyment has been satisfied with their very birth. Just before our sannyasa, Ramakrishna Mission usually gives sannyas on the 10th year. And that too, a lot of certifications are necessary. You will have to stay in one ashram for first 3 years as novices, then you registered in Belur Math, and then afterwards 2 years training. Nowadays they are trying to make 3 years training, then again another 3 years, like that 9 years you have to complete. And after that, if the in-charges or the in-charge under whom you were there give the good certificate, he is a good person, good boy, then only the authority will declare that you will get the sannyasa. So, some of us, we were in Calcutta publication department of the Ashram, and from there I think three of us. So, we were given that opportunity. We were ready to go to Belur Math. Just before that evening, Ranganathanandaji Maharaj came. We used to sit after the night food, used to sit and discuss different things. That was the tradition, still that is continuing. Then we asked, Swamiji, tomorrow we are going to Belur Math and we will be bestowed with the sannyasa. Please tell us something about sannyasa. What is this real sannyasa? In one word he said, those who were the king of gods, Indra, the king of gods, he only can become a real sannyasin. He meant that all the desires, forget about these worldly things, even the gods, their desires, when that is also satisfied, there is not an iota of desire, then only you are really capable to get this sannyasa. To be a truly sannyasi, no desire. So that was his advice. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you cannot have that desire. And Sri Ramakrishna is explaining that you cannot have, those who are having the desire, they cannot have this. Then afterwards, those who are eternally free, they are very few, like all these Swamis, the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He chose them from among all many people they came. He chose them in that way. They were all free, right from their birth. They themselves were not knowing, perhaps. But Sri Ramakrishna knew, because he could read their minds. Sorry. This is the first time right thing in the right place. This is the desire, totally free. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Dr. Madhusudan arrived. The name of the doctor was Madhusudan. While he prepared the bandage for Master's arm, we know that in the last class we were discussing that he fell, he broke his hand. Dr. Madhusudan from Calcutta, he came and he was getting ready to give the bandage. Sri Ramakrishna laughed like a child and said, "You are the Madhusudan of both this world and the next." You know, the Madhusudan is the name of Krishna. Another name of Krishna is Madhusudan, is God. So, remembering the Krishna, that God, Sri Ramakrishna, they're making the jokes. This is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. Just normal, any other person. Dr. Madhusudan has come, he is behaving just like a friend. He is cutting jokes with him. Or you are Madhusudan of this life and the next also. Madhusudan replied, you are the Madhusudan of both this world and the next. Dr. Madhusudan, he is smiling, he said, I only labor under the weight of my name. The Madhusudan, that is the Krishna, I only carry that name, but I have no other qualities. Sri Ramakrishna smiling, why? Is the name a trivial thing? God is not different from his name. Then he is giving an example, a story. In India, this is very seriously they accept. If you give a name of a child properly, particularly in other olden times, the people used to go to those people who could calculate the position of the stars, and accordingly they used to give the name of the baby, name of the child, and that they used to bear. Particularly those names, they all the time the character is to develop in that way. Nowadays, any name if you give, the problem is it's not correct. Here, Sri Ramakrishna's name is not triple. This is also helping. And he said, Satyabhama, one of the wives of Sri Krishna, tried to balance Krishna with gold and precious stones. He made this is also an old custom that they will put the god in one side and all the costly things, jewelries, etc., in the other, so to make the balance. So Satyabhama asked the Krishna to sit in one side, and she was going on weighing the gold and other things, but could not do it. Always Krishna is heavier than all those ornaments, the gold, etc. Then Rukmini came. She put a tulsi leaf with the name of Krishna, the devotion. That's the story. But immediately the scale was equal. Name of God and the God himself are equal. And that's why this that repetition of the mantra, those who have taken the mantra, the moment we are taking the mantra internally, remembering the mantra, immediately we are remembering God. So this is the easiest way to remember God. Somewhere I went and they were asking someone, I forgot, how to remember God all the time. This is the easiest way. And for that you have to practice a little. And then it becomes so normal, and they has given the name, those who are very much, they practice it, it becomes ajapa ajapa. Ajapa, you need not to practice, but it's going on automatically, coming up that name, holy name. When you are sleeping, the moment you are awake, the name is going on. Someone inside going on taking the name of God. Just name of God. And apparently we think, what is it? But that clears all our other thoughts, impure thoughts, thoughts that will take us to the attachment, the God's name. Very, very powerful. Sri Ramakrishna is making. Then doctor was ready to bandage the master arm. The bed was spread on the floor and the master was laughing. So we can understand it is so painful in those days. There was no anesthesia, and the doctor used to come and people used to hold and they used to make a bandage in a very difficult, very painful. Even then, Sri Ramakrishna is laughing and talking with the other devotees. And in the evening, after the worship of the temple was over, a few minutes later, Author arrived. He was a magistrate, the Author. In those days, it was the British that they chose the native to become a magistrate. It is not a matter of joke. Author, the magistrate, but he was very simple. He used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, and instead of listening to his talk, he used to sleep over there. Because so much of tension in the office, he used to come and used to lie down and sleep. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, it is good for him. Don't bother about awakening him to listen to these words. This will be all right. The presence of God. He used to come and looking at the Sri Ramakrishna used to feel so joy and comfort. He used to go for... Then he is talking with the Author. Author arrived from Calcutta to see the master. Mahimacharan, Rakhal and Aim, the person who is noting the conversation, were in the room. The beauty of this gospel is he describes everything. Whenever he was present, not that everyday record is this. Whenever this Master Mahashaya, Sri Ma, was present, he used to record it in such a way as if he is taking the picture, everything, where others sat, where Sri Ramakrishna was, what was happening, even in which side the water was flowing in the Ganga, how was the breeze, how was the weather, everything he described. So that the devotee, after reading it, can meditate on this, take themselves into that, transforming, presenting yourself into that particular situation. Author came, he was asking, must be, he heard that Sri Ramakrishna has broke the hand, so he came to inquire. And he was asking and telling, how are you? Author is asking the Master Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna affectionately, look here, how my arm hurts. And then he was smiling and said, you don't have to ask how I am. This is very important. The people, they always think about, how are you, all this. This is just, not that is a love. This is a courtesy. So you need not to bother about that. The relation between you and me, you are so close devotee, you need not to practice that courtesy. Anything happened, immediately we have to send the cards. In this country, this is the habit. Anything happened, you are in joy, a happy card. You are in grief, then another type of card. So only card we send and our duty is over. And they also go on saying, oh, they have sent the card, etc., etc. They will be keeping it. It's only external. When I know you, I feel for you, I pray for you, the external things are not necessary. So here Sri Ramakrishna smiled and replied and said, you need not to ask how I am. And then he asked the Author to stroke his feet. This is a very special blessings. Sri Ramakrishna never allowed all to touch his person, holy person. Only a few. Sometimes he suddenly used to say, this time he is asking Author, please stroke here gently. He showed his feet, and Author was pressing his feet. Not that it was necessary, only to give him the grace. Master conversed with the Mahimacharan. Mahimacharan, as we have already, those who have reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you know this person, learned person. He always used to read Vedanta, which is the fashion, all the time, because intellectual thing, the people always think if we can discuss about this intellectualism, is good. So Mahimacharan, he used to study Vedanta, he used to discuss about Brahman, Atman, all this. Sri Ramakrishna is telling Mahimacharan, he is a real guru, real master. He is trying to help us. What is the purpose of this religion? Only to have the conversation, debate, understanding things in a very subtle way and expressing it and then getting the appreciation from the people? No. This is only to realize that is the main thing. Life is very short. We do not know when we will die. Why to spend things in that way? Sri Ramakrishna is telling, Master is conversing with the Mahimacharan. It will be very good if you can practice unselfish love for God. Unselfish love for God. Then he is explaining, a man who has such love says, O Lord, I do not seek salvation, even mukti. I do not seek salvation, name, fame, wealth, or cure of disease. None of these do I seek. I want only Thee. O God, I want only You. So that is called unselfish devotion to God. When the people, they come with all desire. And that is the reason sometimes some people, their desires are so worldly. The Sri Ramakrishna used to say, don't touch their things. Sometimes he used to distribute to others or to throw in the Ganges. Because they are giving a little bit of things, maybe a food, but with great desire. If the Swami is eating this food, so my diseases will be cured. Oh my God, why you should think like that? But people, they think in that way. There is no love. There is just business. I am giving this to you. In return, I am getting this from you. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying, no, I wish you should love God with an unselfish way. Then he is quoting from scripture. Prahlada had this unselfish love, this pure love for God without any worldly aim. This Hiranyakashipu and the Prahlada, that story you know. And Prahlada was born in an ashrama, a very peculiar. How the things go, if you read the story, his father Hiranyakashipu never liked gods. And particularly Vishnu, the name, the moment the people used to say the Vishnu, used to be irritated. Who is this Vishnu? I am most powerful. And now, when his wife was coming from some place and she was pregnant, it was time for her to deliver. There was only the place available on the way. She had to stop over there, and she gave birth of this child in the ashrama of the rishis. And that little boy, he was growing up among that rishis. Early morning until night, he was going on listening their discourses, the music, the song, the chanting. So he became naturally a devotee of Vishnu. Look at it, how God plays. So the son became so much devoted, and the father was completely against. Those who have read the story, it's a very fascinating, very unique way. And we have the books for the children also, with the pictures and all. So the Vishnu is nowhere, father and the son. Father never likes the God, and the son is so devoted. But devotion only for God. He was a small child, he was not knowing anything else. But he used to love God, that's all. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, Prahlad had this unselfish love. So when we grow up, we develop many desires. And that age when we go for the devotion of God, at the back of our mind, we keep many other desires also, prayers also. Please give me this, please give me that. But if you pray for the others, benefit of the others, for the good of others, nothing wrong, nothing bad. So always if we can go. Another thing is, Sri Ramakrishna in one place is telling, where I will go? Because it is the father and the mother is nothing but the God. I do not know anyone else. When I am in distress, I am in problem, where to go? Go to God. So that is also pure type of love. I do not know anybody else, and you have kept me this world, and I need help. Whom to approach? You are the only person. You must come and help me. So that is also another type of faith. God is there, He is listening to my prayer, He will come and protect me. Complete faith. So here Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, if you are practicing some way to realize God, it's better to practice in the way of Prahlada. Now let me tell you something that will agree with your mood. We know that we have to understand the person. His mood was Jnana Margi, the knowledge. So different people are having different type of mood. But we find over here, Sri Ramakrishna is rectifying and then guiding them into their proper channel. He said, let me tell you something that will agree with your mood. According to the Vedanta, one has to know the real nature of one's own self. Atma Jnana, know thyself. So that he is mentioning, but such knowledge is impossible without the renunciation of ego. And this is Sri Ramakrishna. The Vedanta and Sri Ramakrishna, the way he teaches, very simple. What is Vedanta? One of his disciple, young disciple, he stopped visiting Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna was inquiring, hey, why he is not coming nowadays? He used to keep eye, why he is not coming. Why? Then he inquired. Then someone told he is busy in studying Vedanta. And he says, visiting him is a waste of time because he'll be talking this way, that way. So I am studying Vedanta day and night. Please ask him to come once. I like to talk to him. Then he came and told, what is there, my boy? What is there in your Vedanta? Brahma Shatta Jagat Mittha. Is there anything else? To this only is the teaching of Vedanta. And you are going on reading the Prakarana Grantha, this Grantha, that Grantha, Panchadashi, so many. Why? Better you practice. Those are for the professors. They like to quote, they like to give lecture on that. They need all those informations, the quotations and the equations and all those things. It's not for you. Don't waste time, but realize the God. And when you realize God, and you will get all this knowledge. Then he told, what is there in your Vedanta? Brahma Shatta Jagan Mittha. Anything else? He quiet. Here also Sri Ramakrishna is telling, you like to realize your Atman, right? Because Mahimacharan was a Jnani and he never liked the devotees. Devotees are going and offering food and flower and all that. He used to stand like that, oh, these are fools. They are going. Sri Ramakrishna understood that tremendous ego. He has memorized some of the slokas, and then one gentleman came and told, can you please organize a meeting inviting your devotees? I like to give a talk to them, how to realize God. I told, that is the job we are doing. So you need not to do in that way. But the moment he said like that, it is for sure he is so much egoistic. And he is thinking he has learned some of the scripture and developed the way of speaking, the terminology and all those things, so that he can impress people. But that is not the scripture. That is not the spiritual thing. Spiritual thing is this Sri Ramakrishna's way of talking. He understood the Mahimacharan wasting his time. He never said this thing to Vivekananda. Rather, Vivekananda, Narendranath was exactly opposite. He never agreed with the Vedanta. He used to say, this is blasphemy to say, I am God. Sri Ramakrishna used to request him, okay, you don't believe in that. You need not to bother. You simply, for me, read from this book, which is a Vedanta book. So Sri Ramakrishna used to introduce Vedanta to this young Narendranath. Why? He was the real person. To practice Vedanta, you have to be completely free from ego. Narendra was having that quality. So he asked Narendra to practice Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. You know that beautiful story, Mary Louise Burke, in her book, she is mentioning Swami Vivekananda was ready to give a talk, and usually in America, immediately after the parliamentary religion, he came in contact with the company. They were taking him to different places. The contract was whatever will be the income, and 50% will go to Vivekananda, 50% they will take. So they were taking him to different places. In a day, they were arranging 10 lectures. Can you imagine, immediately after this 1 hour talk, I need a cup of coffee. In those days, nothing. And they used to take him in the horse-driven, the carriage, and it was so cold, 10 lectures in different places, and he was not able to count the dollars and pennies and all that, and they used to cheat him. Afterwards, with the help of the American friends and devotees, he came out of that. Anyway, in one place he went, and the talk was, the people were ready. One gentleman came to call Swami Vivekananda. Now everything is ready, please come. He couldn't go. He was constantly going and standing before a mirror. What is this, sir? You are sufficiently handsome. You did not do. No, I cannot remember myself. This is Vivekananda. And he is fit to practice Vedanta. He is fit to talk about Vedanta. It's not so easy. I cannot remember myself. I am this body. Unless I remember this, how can I talk? Sometimes people will think and love, oh, this is too much exaggeration. It's not. He was not having the body consciousness at all. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna is asking this man, Mahimacharan, who was a householder, and he was trying to practice the Vedanta. He used to propagate that I am a Vedantin, and by that way he used to take a lot of ego all the time. Sri Ramakrishna, pointing to that, is telling, to realize Atman, what you need? You have to remove your ego. Renunciation of ego. The ego is like a stick that seems to divide the water in two. It makes you feel that you are one and I am another. Sri Ramakrishna, he is never hurting the man. He is a very respected person. If he says you are a egoistic person, if you practice Advaita, this is wrong, he never said that. This is also one should learn, how to handle with the people. He was a respected person in the society, egoistic person, and he was a knowledgeable man, particularly in Vedanta. Suddenly if you say, hey, you are an egoistic person, you cannot practice that. He never said like that. He said, ego divides, that I am separate, you are separate. But according to the Advaita Vedanta, there should not be any separation. And if there is no separation, if all of us are the one, where from the ego comes? Because of the ego, if you find the same water as if divided. The unique way Sri Ramakrishna is explaining this. When the ego disappears in samadhi, then one knows Brahman to be one's own inner consciousness. In samadhi. What is that samadhi? Where there is no trace of ego. Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, in a small 2-paragraph poem, he has written this. And he said, he is beginning with Nahi Surja, Nahi Jyoti. Now it has become a song also, they sing. Singers, they sing in that. Nahi Surya, Nahi Jyoti. Nahi Shashanka Sundara. Nahi Surya, there is no sun. There is no light. There is no moon. There is no fire. What was there? He goes explaining in that way. The ultimate condition he reached, and that he explained what is happening in the samadhi. And then he says, the last thing that is holding you back to this world, Ami, 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 I. When that is also broken, that also goes away, disappear, Then what happened? Bojhe pran, bojhe jar, abang manasya gocharam, or negative, bang, the speech, manasa, the mind, and gocharam, even the mind cannot understand that, cannot fathom that, and cannot express it through words. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again, he has described this particular position, that a doll made of salt went to measure the water of the ocean. The salt is made up from the water of the ocean. And this doll, who was made of salt, went to measure that ocean. What happened? He never came back. He melted over there, and the salt doll became ocean itself. Who will come back to explain, to give you the description of the ocean? In a very wonderful way, the expression is this: when you go back to the reality, to the truth, to the Brahman, you become Brahman yourself. How you can come back to explain about that? It is not possible. But to reach over there, to go over there, to realize that Brahman, the ultimate bondage is ego. The barrier is ego. You have to break that barrier. You have to cut that bondage. And it is so difficult. To remove the ego, it is so difficult. Everything is possible, but it's difficult to remove the ego. Very, very difficult. So the practice is ego. To remove the ego, one must renounce the I that makes one feel I am Mahima Charan. He is telling the Mahima Charan. One must renounce that I that makes me feel I am Mahima Charan, Mahima Chakravarti, I am a learned man, and so on. But the ego of knowledge does not injure one. Shankaracharya retained the ego of knowledge in order to teach mankind. This is Sri Ramakrishna, and he is the supreme master. He is not telling that you have to follow me, you have to listen to me. He is not creating any cult. He is only giving the teachings. This is the real problem to realize God. God is there. One can realize God. Only problem, the bondage is ego, I. Now, if there is no I, how can you survive? Anyone can come and tell, hey, this is not yours. You have renounced the I, give it to me. No. It's not like that. It's the feeling. The feeling that we can understand anyone telling anything, immediately I am hurt. Immediately, someone told that something you have said, immediately he comes and says, I didn't like that word. Immediately I am hurt. Go away from me. Don't come to me. Why? Not that everybody has to love you, like you, respect you. Why? You have some people who will like you, some people will criticize you. What does it matter? Those who are criticizing you, they are also very simple, ordinary people. And those who are loving you are the same. Who bothers about all those things? But if you have the mainly the friends, it's good. That is the way a person is very intelligent, but always alert that my goal is to realize God, the Brahman, the Atman in this very life. And the only thing that is binding me is my own ego. And how to remove the ego? Sri Ramakrishna has given that suggestions also. Constantly go on telling, I am the son of God. I am the child of God, daughter of God. Who is giving me all this thing? When Hanumanji went to Sri Lanka, they were showing him different type of foods. Hanuman was fond of eating. And then they were showing other jewelries also. Then Hanuman, in the beginning he was tempted. to eat. Then he said, no, my master, Sri Ramachandra, he has given me everything. Nothing in this world I need. I don't care. So that is the ego bound with God. I am the son of God. My father is God. So why should I care for all these things? That is the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. Thank you, friends. Thank you for coming today. Now I can understand. Prayer is at 6 to 6:30 is the winter time, and the class starts at 7:30. Those who are coming to attend the prayer, 1 hour you have to sit. It's a good time also you can utilize by taking the name of God. But those who are coming to attend this class, and also the prayer, for them is a long gap maybe. And maybe that from January we have to stop the class, suspend the class because of the bad weather. January, February, maybe sometimes March because of the bad weather. That we will see afterwards. Let us chant this mantra and conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.